All right, everybody. Hey, welcome back to Wesley the Writer. I'm Wesley, and today we're going to talk about on this beautiful, probably rainy Thursday. What is an investment? I think a lot of people, when they think about investment, they think about what stocks, gold, what is it, real estate, anything that's tangible. They think about all of the big things, right? All of the things you have to really buy into in order to have, well, any real version of financial gain. But that's not really just where it ends with investment. You can invest in any area of your life, right? Time is an investment. And so when you're looking to spend the rest of your life enjoying your life, you're looking to invest heavily in time so that you can have more time to do the things that you enjoy before you have no time at all for the rest of eternity. So, with that said, today we're going to talk about investments. Particularly though, we're not going to talk about stocks or some new NFT or whatever. We're going to talk about how you can invest now with you. So, all right. With that said, let's get into it. I think one of the more challenging ideas to get people to understand whenever we're talking about investments, especially in America, is that everybody kind of has this thought process behind, like, oh, I got to have the newest and latest. It's got to be new. I can't deal with people thinking that I'm poor. I can't deal with people not seeing me dressed a certain way or acting a certain way or whatever, right? And so the internet has allowed us to live a lie. It's allowed us to be who we aren't. And then, like in real life, when we're presented or confronted with any real challenges that would otherwise be able to be handled by the online version of ourselves, we crumble. We can't really manage our time or our money properly. We end up consuming rather than producing. And so when we talk about investment, especially in the sense that I'm talking about investment, I'm always talking about investing in you, in your time, in what you can control before you start throwing your money at whatever pops up across your news feed. When we're talking about time investment, how do you spend your time? Do you read? Do you write? Maybe work on some other hobby or play video games or something? Well, all of that is a form of investment in time. You're taking the most valuable resource known to humankind and you're using it for whatever purpose suits you. But you have to wonder, if you're investing your time into consuming rather than producing, what's the payout? What are you getting back from that investment? Are you maybe getting more time? Well, you should be. Whenever you put your resources to work, right? Whenever you spend your time um, on something, it should at least provide that back with more as either interest or 10, 20, a million fold. So investment in spending your time is one of the main investments that a person should focus on understanding before they invest their money in some pseudo get rich quick kind of pot, right? So, how I invest my time, I do my podcast, I write my book, I spend time at the church, I work for my family's company, I spend time with my children and my wife, and I get sleep. I spend time playing video games in between that whenever I can squeeze the time in. And I listen to audiobooks and other types of educational material while I'm working at the different jobs or the different sites for my jobs company. So I invest my time heavily into the things around me, and with the goal of having that time to come back to me later on tenfold. I put up a heavy investment in time up front to focus on all of these things so that the payout, when the time comes for that payout, I'll have more time to be able to spend on whatever I really want to spend that time on. Or rather, like spending time with my family, I get the return investment on seeing my children smile and my wife happy. You know, that makes me happy. I spend my time writing my books and doing the podcast so that I can release any of the ideas or tensions that might have been building up, so that I can free my mind and have some form of peace while I'm going about my day. And, I'm not always worrying or thinking about this thing or that thing. I can just get it out and move on, right? Um, Particularly with the Pinewood High School incident, I was thinking about that book for forever. And I finally got a chance to actually start writing it because I put my focus and energy on spending time to do it. I made the time to do it, right? I didn't just say I want to write a book and then only spent like an hour getting the outline right and then just like, oh, well, never mind then. It's too much work. No, I set aside at least 4 hours a day to hash these things out, to get them done. But I also segmented my time. I think I mentioned that in a previous podcast as well, to where like Monday I do one thing, Tuesday I do another thing. And I just keep that going that way so that I can, effectively get everything done that I want to get done. I'm not concerned about the ramifications of me not doing something one day or 2 days, because I can always refocus my time and reshift things around as needed. And again, too, like especially when you're putting up um, so much of your time, like I am, to other things. Um, a lot of other things bleed into your main thing or the one thing that you might really want to achieve or whatever. Just like how I keep missing my deadlines for my podcast. So it's things like that happen, life happens, so it's not really a set rule for time, but you just have to be able to get back on it and keep doing it when you can. But another thing too is like the reason why I give a lot of my energy to the church really primarily is because having a relationship with God, being able to utilize the word to accomplish um, things in the spirit, as well as keeping a fresh mind about how to approach certain issues, is well worth the investment. Spending time to read the word and to study is not just important so that you can get into a political argument with someone about the reason why the Hebrews are the blacks or something. It's so ridiculous. It's about living a better life. It's about getting yourself up out of that sick bed and to really be able to control the life and the things around you. But I put my energy into the church because, on top of having a spiritual stability, it also allows me to have a financial and a physical stability with like food and all of these other things. People really underestimate the power of ministry and what ministry is supposed to do. It's supposed to allow us to have outlets like what I'm doing now, like with my podcast and with my writing. It's supposed to be there to allow us to have the things necessary for service and for serving God. And one of the main things that is necessary for serving God is having the time to serve God, getting yourself out of the worldly, carnal thinking and to put yourself fully into the service that God is calling you to. Um, and the best way to do that is to utilize the resources of the church in order to learn and to grow so that you can be stable and you can be more than stable. You can actually become a producer and have that ministry that's boiling inside of you uh, allow you to live comfortably for the rest of your life. So thinking about ministry in the sense of it being a business investment is a good way to go about really understanding how the church can be utilized and be able to free up your time. Um, with my family's janitorial business, that's been a source that has helped grow the church over the years. And we utilize that also as a means for us to have jobs that's not controlled by the worldly affairs. During the pandemic, everybody was losing their jobs and getting furloughed, while Mr. Janitor over here had a job the entire time. And that's not to brag or anything. That's just to say that when you put your focus on God, you don't get so fearful whenever the world throws a curveball. You have stability and you have the ability to be stable. So you utilize that in order to continue to grow. But as far as an investment is concerned, or from an investment standpoint, that was the best investment in time that I had at the moment. And it allowed me to take care of my family through the probably one of the worst times that I've been alive for so far. And so, again, I'm very thankful for that. I'm very thankful for the fact that I'm able to even have this conversation now, because also with the investment in family and, spending a lot more time focused on learning how to have interactions with people without blaming them for everything, it's allowed me to have a better relationship with my father, who in turn gave me a Christmas present in the form of money that was spent to get this new fancy laptop. And, on top of that, I was also blessed with a mic by my sister. So you see, investments in time, right? Investments in learning. All of these things build on themselves so that when you get to a particular place in your life, you can use those things to grow in more ways than just your bank account. An investment, my investments in my timing and how I spent my time. Yes, I had to do things for people. Yes, I had to get over my own, physical limitations sometimes, get up when I didn't want to get up, and be there for people when I wanted to just sit around and watch, anime all day or something. But in doing that, I was blessed with all that I have now. And it's continuing to sustain me. It's continuing to help me grow. And that's just the more important part. So in conclusion, just remember that an investment does not mean throw all of your money or all of your time into something physical. It can be spiritual. It can be mental. If you spend your time reading about how money works, well, that's an investment that will help you to make more money in the long term. But you have to think about that in the long term. You can't just think that you're going to get rich quick at a casino, right? It's not something to gamble. An investment is something that's meant to continually reward you for the upfront cost. And for me, the upfront cost of my time is now beginning to show its fruit in allowing me to have more time to do the things that I enjoy. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Be sure to check me out on Twitter at the writer Wesley. Be sure to hit me up in the comment section so that we can have a discussion on what was discussed. Or even if you are listening to this on Podbean, be sure to send me a comment. I'll be looking out for those, and I will definitely be in the comment section ready to hash it out with you. So thank you so much. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.